I think while Trump is in charge, if they can just regulate it a very good amount, I think we'll be much better off.
Mm-hmm.
I think that police won't be so trigger friendly when they pull someone over,
Yep.
because anyone can have a gun and it's
Correct.
their right to have one, and they feel threatened and they need to reach for their gun just when they're doing a traffic stop, because you get a lot of cops that have done, shootings that are fucked up,
Yep.
and some inexperience, some fear as well. You can be the most experienced cop if you fear for your life, because
Yeah.
every fucking person's got a gun in America.
Yeah.
Chances are shit's not going to go very well.
Yeah.
Sadly, especially if you're black. This doesn't mean that specifically blacks get targeted, but yeah, look, that's a topic for another time. But blacks, are more prone by police officers
Yeah.
to get hounded, because it's not because of the color of your skin. It's not because, all it is a skin tone. Basically, it's the culture. Greeks have their culture. Italians have their culture. Aussies have their culture. Yeah, mate, grab a beer. Now, black people have their culture. And there's good culture and bad culture. We celebrate Black History Month. There's great black culture, but there's also the bad side, just with anything. Do I sound like a racist now? Well, I'm a racist. Blacks get more targeted because of their culture. So if you want to call me a racist, go for it. It's the truth. And I've explained it in such a great way, so if you want to start trolling, go ahead. Now, it helps when the guns are more regulated. And it helps when the black people can fix up their culture, clean it up a little bit. I don't like the N-word being used. I don't care if it's from a black person to a black person. The N-word should never be used. And people use it. You still hear it in songs to this day. If a black person can say the N-word to another black person, why can't a white person say it to a black person? What, are they discriminating against us for being white? Are they being racist to us, saying we can't use the word because we're white? A word should be universal for everyone to use. That's equality. That's the equality they harp on about when it comes to, Black Lives Matter, black this, black that. Equality! I couldn't agree more. It's not a one-way street. Cars come and go. It's two ways. It's a highway. It's not a one-way street. And the sooner they realise this, they clean up their act a little bit, just a little bit, okay? Majority is very good. Then shit will start to be a lot better. And a lot of blacks won't get shot. Just bringing that up because we're talking about guns and people getting shot. But yeah, coppers are very trigger friendly, just in general. And I think that has a lot to do with the gun laws.
Yeah. I do think that cops in America are a lot more trigger friendly than in Australia, because
man, in Australia, man, you got a cop being beaten up by some guy,
and the other cop, have a gun on him.
The other cops got a taser gun, and they're still hesitant to use the taser gun on them.
And I think that's ridiculous. Coppers should be able to use the guns.
That's right.
When they need to.
They're too soft in Australia.
I think going back to the African Americans in America. Look, I do think the culture is very different.
It is, and that's what it is, culture.
But by the same token, this is probably a different topic. I do think that the high population of the African American community, they don't really have a choice to what they do with their lives. Like they are, and not all of them, of course, but there's a high percentage that are in the ghettos that grow up there. They don't have a choice.
Yeah, the hood is.
Their first heroes are the people that are in the corners, the role models, the male parental figures, and they sort of bring them in. A lot of drug dealers, and this is drug dealers. This has actually been proven. White and black drug dealers in America, especially around the ghettos, they find young black boys to sell the drugs for them because
runners.
It's easier for them to escape from a policeman. And unfortunately, I think it's got to do a bit with America's history. Because you don't find that in the black communities in other countries,
Yeah.
like you do in America. I think it's got to do with. I do think that a lot of black people have been left behind, and it's very sad because
that's a fair call.
they've been left behind, and they've reached a point where the children can't grow, and they don't have the same opportunities as a white person would have. So I think that's one of the culture is there, and it's not just the blacks at fault, it's also the government.
Yeah.
It's also the politicians.
Yeah.
I mean, a country with, if I'm not mistaken, 25% of Americans have got Hispanic background,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
that's true.
14% have got African background.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about almost 40% if you
Yeah.
put it together, and yet, in 45 presidents now, we've had one African American president, and he was actually half white, Obama.
Yeah.
So, and you don't really see many Latinos and many African Americans up high in the political system. So,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
very fascinating. And it's true. It's so strange.
and it's also you see. I don't think, and I love hip hop. I love rap. I grew up on it. When you see pop and rock and jazz, you don't hear violent lyrics usually. If they are, I don't know. But you don't hear about killing cops and raping women and all these things. You don't hear about them. And I used to deal drugs, this and that.
Yeah.
With hip hop, you do.
Yeah.
And I think it's sort of left a stigma.
Yeah.
And there's a
yeah,
lot
that's
of
right.
people that are like, oh, are all blacks like this? No, they're not. But
I mean, I know
It's sort of
a number of blacks that very well educated. They've gone to university. Very smart, very intellectual. That's not to say that if you don't go to uni, you're not smart. Just pointing that out because people like to say that, oh, well, just because they go to uni, that doesn't mean they're smart. I couldn't agree more. I've met people that have gone to uni, fucking, they've got a master's, they've got a doctoral, and, they're socially, fucking stupid. I was going to say socially retarded.
Yeah.
I just did. But, I'm trying to be more PC these days.
Yeah.
Socially retarded, and they're, academically, they're smart. They're like a fucking professor. Getting a university degree or anything else, master's, doctoral, it does not mean that you're actually smart. But what I meant to say is, academically, it's still smart academically. And I've met black people that are smart academically and out and about. So, to say that, because a lot of people say this, they say, well, black people, and I'm sure you've heard this as well, black people, aren't really doing good in schools. I think Ben Shapiro might have said that. Maybe he was taking a tiny bit out of context. Maybe he was just on the spot and he said it. Or maybe he was referring to a specific year or a specific time or a case.
Yeah, I know that.
I look, and even if he meant it flat out, I don't agree with. I love Ben Shapiro, but I don't agree with that. I think a lot of black kids can still do good in school. I know black doctors. But like you said, there is a stigma. And I think that stigma has caught Ben Shapiro a bit. But yeah, like, it's understandable why people might think that.